Hi there again. Okay, um, this video is about melting and dissolving ourselves in water. We are not like salt, sugar. When you dissolve salt or sugar in water, they just disappear. So when we dissolve ourselves in water, we are not going to disappear. The body is still going to be there, but something is going to happen. No, we are going to soften up. We are going to be able to let go, relax, and you could say even like become one with the water. Like become so fluid, just like water is fluid. Able to slide. The molecules are able to slide over one another. Easily glide. So internally in our body, we can glide all those ligaments, fascia, tendons, over the bones, and somehow remove those embedded, all the embedded tension, that is obstructing free flow and creating a lot of friction in the way we, a lot of friction inside ourselves. So if you want to be supple, that means supple means like this, able to do an undulation like a wave. If you want to do this, you got to be fluid. You got to be like the the um, opposing muscles or the no muscles come in a set, right? You have those that if one set contracts, the other set has to relax, and then the antagonistic muscle has to let go, and then they just work in tandem, not like a rocker, not no, like a what do you call this? Like in electronics, you call that relay, yeah, like a relay. Tick tock, tick tock. When the signal light starts flashing, when you want to make a turn or when you're driving, yeah, that kind of thing. So uh, the opposing set of muscles must be relaxed to the extent where it is possible to do wave-like movements, yeah, undulations, and all the people who are good dancers, people who are gymnasts, rhythmic gymnastics, they can feel the body, those ballerinas, these people, they have a very high level of sensitivity regarding and with regards to energy flow inside themselves. They can feel it. They know it. That's why it comes so naturally. When they do samba, rumba, whatever. Latin dancing. Maybe that one is looks a bit more stiff, but anything that is graceful. If anybody who is doing graceful dancing, rhythmic movements, very fluid, they know their inner body. So the same thing we have to make use of when we want to swim well, when you want to float effortlessly. So we have to dissolve ourselves into water, and this, the yogis call it laya. That means you just merge, you become part of the water. You nothing inside you anymore causing friction, and if you do that, oh, believe me, you can realign yourself easily into any floating position without any part becoming stiff or cramping up. When something cramps up, it just tells you that there's a blockage. And some people, they lose their balance when they are floating because one side is tight, the other side is not, and this side, left, right side cramps up, and then they just start to lose their balance and down they go. So if you want to float well, you have to learn to relax, and it's easier said than done. No, everybody says relax, relax, but it's not going to happen so easily. So how should we do it? There must be a way. Yeah. Now, before we go into that's very deep stuff. How to relax. You could, of course, there are many methods. Okay, but you should also know that when you are sleeping, and when you're snoring, or when you're really in deep sleep, under a delta state or something like that, of the mind, there's not much thinking anymore, and then somehow your breathing becomes very deep, You breathe in, and at the bottom it stops for a while. It dwells at the bottom at the nadir, and then after that it builds up some kind of like it pulls, and then the diaphragm goes up, and then it goes up. Okay, a full stroke of air, full volume of air going in and out of your lungs. Ooh, like bellows, but very slowly, nothing forceful, and it goes up to the top. And again at the top it stays there for a while, it just dwells there for a while, 1-2 seconds maybe, sometimes more, before the diaphragm drops again, very gently, very relaxed, just ooh, and then it spreads out. It spills its nervous tension all around and stays there for a while. Then again the cycle repeats, up and down. Yeah, that's the kind of relaxation we are talking about. The moment you can do that kind of relaxation, you can feel the water, you can be part of the water. So yeah. So, but you must also know that when you are floating and when you are swimming at the surface, most of the time you are having a nearly full lungful of air in your lungs. So that's the phenomenon at the apex of the breathing cycle, where lungs are all full of air, so that you can float, so that you are buoyant. So that keeps you on the crest of the waves, on the top. And if you want to become balanced later on, you don't want to be one-sided in your practice. You got to learn how to let go all the air too. Just collapse yourself. Rib cage all collapsed from the inside. So it creates a new kind of dynamics, mechanics for your muscles and for your ligaments, tendons, whatever. So and fascia. So you let go all the air, and what happens in the swimming pool when you let go all the air? Down you go, right to the bottom. Then can you breathe in at the bottom? You can't. Yeah, you don't want to die. No, you don't want to drown. You're not going to commit suicide. So what you do is you don't breathe in. You let go all the air. Okay, you've lost your buoyancy. You go down to the bottom, and your rib cage is in a contracted kind of condition. It's lost a lot of its volume. It's just like when you're doing diving. You go scuba and then you go down. The water pressure squeezes on your rib cage, and then the size of your lungs becomes a fraction of what it was at the surface. It's the amount of pressure. 3 times atmospheric pressure, double atmospheric pressure, 10 meters, 20 meters, and so on. So tremendous. But let's say you're just doing it in 6 feet of water. So you hit the bottom and you don't breathe in. You can stay still, of course. That's good. But if you start moving and you find some leeway, some possibility to move without feeling uncomfortable, then you move. Maybe you start crawling, maybe you start doing I don't know, a moonwalk, weightless condition, but your feet are still maybe 1 kilogram of weight on your body, relative weight, pressing against the bottom of the pool, and you're able to walk, like kind of moonwalk. And you might do moon jumps too, you might just go up like a frog, and then you go up. You don't break the surface of the water, but then you go up and then you come down again, and then you jump again. You jump a few times. So you could practice this, and you could really feel that some rearrangement will happen inside your body. It's like doing the reverse. You see some people, they say, oh, I have to walk backwards, or I have to do instead of doing the bench press, I do negatives. I just, the effort is when on the way down. I just let it down slowly. So you do something backwards, and this is the same kind of thing. You're going down at the bottom of the pool. You have no more air in your lungs. You're not breathing in, so you're staying at the nadir of the respiration of the breathing cycle, and you're doing something down there. And yogis, you could call it kriyas, kriyas movement. So you're doing something down there, and all those things are going to rearrange yourself, and you see a new possibility to rearrange the skandhas of the body, or the elements of the body somehow. So something's going to happen down there, and then if you have pockets of tightness anywhere, that's a good chance for it to just pop out and internally pop out, and just like you play the brick game, or they fall into place, and then you have layer after layer of bricks building up. Yeah, you could just rearrange them, then you could sort yourself out, more or less. Yeah, so it's a really amazing thing if you can do that. And and towards the end, hopefully, you end up in a more relaxed state. Yeah, and it's amazing to be relaxed, because when you relax, what happens is your spine is no longer like a solid piece of concrete, like it's just like a rock. It's unyielding, not able to flex. And the only thing that could flex is probably at your wrists and your elbows and maybe your knees, and then you make those movements and you can swim, but the rest of your torso is all rigid and stiff. Rigor mortis, before death, but already very stiff. And if it's that stiff, no way you can do any undulations, and no way that you could do an undulation at the thorax, at your chest area of the chest. It's totally like the heart chakra is blocked, totally not there. And same with the hips, and your hips are totally tight around there. No possibility of undoing undulations as well. It's going to be like just move. You use force, and then you can bend a bit. And forget about really doing a dolphin kick. So to swim well, of course, you need to relax, but the challenge is how to relax. So I think a good way is to do the reverse. Go down to the bottom of the pool, start to let it collapse inwards, like the whole watery world is now collapsing into you, and then you have a chance, it cracks up, and then you can chance to rearrange the bricks. It's almost the same thing like when you are changing your car tires. If one particular nut is too tight, what you do is you turn it clockwise, you make it tighter. Then when you suddenly let go, the spring or the elastic potential energy that is then unleashed by the wound up clockwise torque that you have given to the spanner or to the wrench, suddenly moves in the anti-clockwise direction because you let go. And then of course you would assist it by pushing it further anti-clockwise, with a lot of force, and that really helps to unscrew a nut that is locked up, that is not going to release easily. So you can do that to your own body. You can use this kind of principle. Do the reverse. And then what happens then is that your body becomes like a flipper. When you got fins, right? You realize that when you wear a monofin, or you get snorkeling fins, they are made of rubber, or they're made of plastic, which has a lot of elastic possibility. So when you kick down, it stores up the energy, it gets potential energy, elastic potential energy, and it can bend a bit, and it can release its energy slowly as you move up and down, and that gives you a lot more speed than flippers that are rigid. You can buy also flippers for kids usually, very short flippers and very rigid. Those ones, you can't swim with those. You can pedal with those, but they are not as fast as good snorkeling flippers, for example. So those fins are much better when they are not totally soft, because if they are soft, they are also useless. Some scuba fins, they are too soft. You want to swim really fast, you can't. So you get good swimming fins, which are rigid enough, but it's still flexible enough. So if you make your body like this, you become a very good swimmer. Okay, that's it. So thanks very much for watching. Cheers.